Hello, everyone. It is Labor Day here in America. So, of course, today's Comics Advocating is a labor of love, this early edition of week 36 for 22. We're officially live on TikTok. We're officially live on Twitter. We're officially live on Instagram and the Metabook. So, we are live everywhere, including YouTube. So, I want to welcome you all in. Hope you're all having a wonderful day today, chilling out if you're in America for Labor Day, having some barbecue, having some fun. We're going to get into the news that happened over the weekend. We're going to start off by telling you about this week's event. I'm not sure if you know this, but this year, Comic Book Advocating went to TikTok. That's right. Comic Book Advocates is on TikTok now. And we want you to join for two reasons. One, we want you to see everything that we're advocating for on TikTok. But number two, help us get to 1,000 followers or more so we can start putting these programs live on our actual TikTok channel for all of you guys to enjoy. We want to see you to come join us, interact with us, tell us what to duet and stitch with you over on TikTok. Remember, that's Comic Book Advocates on the TikTok. Do you hear that sound? That's because it's crowdfunding's last call. Let's see what we got. Corey gives us Hope and Sin #1. That ends on the 8th. Also ending on the 8th is John Crawford's 2-year project, The Bushwhackers. The official wrestling autobiography comes to an end. Will you be part of it? Now on Kickstarter and on the 9th. This is coming from our friend Tom Hutchinson and CB Zane. And they are giving you Bad Kitty is Back and Better Than Before. Chaos Comics veterans Bad Kitty makes a comeback in this new story by Tom Hutchinson and CB Zane. And for more information and more comic book crowdfunding, go to backerpaws.com. Hold on one second, everybody's watching me live. Jaxie, turn the loud house down a little. Jax is home from school and he's watching the loud house, so I apologize for that. But look at that art. That art's pretty awesome, right? All right, readjusting everyone's cameras so you guys can see good. And we're going to go on with the news. There he goes. He lowered it. Good, good, good. Coming back to Kickstarter is Black Cotton Volume 2. It's a Kickstarter exclusive. This is something that tore up the charts in the last couple of years. Make sure you get your copy. And, of course, it'll be part of backerpaws.com as soon as it goes live. To find its link right now, if you want, go to backerpaws.com. We already have it listed in the Coming Soon section. Man-Child is now on Kickstarter, and they've already hit the 1K mark in their first 4 hours. You can find them on Kickstarter now, which is spinning directly out of the events of Man-Child #1, which I'm sure you can get the catch-up issue. So join them over in the Kickstarter and get your copy of Man-Child off crowdfunding today. DC JW Derek Chu gives us his variant cover for Punchline, the Gotham Game, issue #2. And look at that art. Found this on the good old Twitter. We wanted to share it with you and brighten your day. I got to admit, that's a really sexy character that barely shows any skin, right? That is interesting, that the character does not actually show skin, but dresses in a very provocative fashion. I'm really liking the character so far, what they've kind of done with it. It's definitely a different Harley Quinn for a new generation. All right, I'm excited about this one because I'm going to be there along with some other great people, as you can see. This is Sci-Fi Pop Fest. It's not just another Comic-Con. It's an experience, and that experience happens on November 5th in 2022. In the Eustis Expo Center Fairgrounds. That's going to be in Eustis, Florida, this November. Join me And Continuum Comics, of course, some other great featured guests. Scout Comics will be there, Tom Blasio, and Butterbean, plus some other comic book creators as well. It's going to be a good show. I expect everyone who's in driving distance to attend. Let's make Sci-Fi Pop Fest an experience that none of us will ever forget. What do we got here? Shared by Jesse POV from Comics with Jess over on Twitter. He says, one of my favorite Jarro moments. Death Metal 3 confirms Jarro is DC Comics' most powerful superhero and, in fact, funniest one. You guys can go ahead and pause the screen and read this. It's a pretty cute moment. Check it out now. This one's pretty exciting to me. So I have actually been asked to do this, believe it or not. This is the vanilla outline. For those who don't know, I've created books that include the BDSM Survey, the Desire Index, and Barbara Unleashed, which talked about a different type of lifestyle. This time around, I'm going to start at the very beginning. Every relationship's built on what I'm calling the vanilla base. And we're going to go over what that vanilla base is, and this is going to be an experiment that I'm doing live on social media. If you go to vanillabase.com, you'll notice that it's part of my advocating channel right now. And there's a special thread just for that. And all the information is going to be tagged and part of that. So you can watch the journey as we build together the vanilla base. Coming out in 2023. Some heartwarming news. Chad Boseman wins a posthumous Emmy for his work in Marvel's What If. That's brought to us by comicbook.com. And man, he deserved it. He really was a huge loss, but I'm glad we got just a little more surprise from him. Just trying to line this up for the TikTok. We'll start over here and then go from there. Of course, Frank's face isn't there. We go. Frank Forte gives us Steve Mannon's Fearless Dawn swimsuit special is available for pre-orders. And there's the cover that you can see that they have in the Previews magazine. If you don't know what Previews is, that's the way the comic book shops order their comic books. So if you see what you like, or you can actually go to previewsworld.com and previews in a Google search, and it'll come up. Tell the comic book shop the actual codes. Call them up and say, I want Fearless Dawn swimsuit edition. That's code SCP-221393. Oh, that's doubled up for some reason. That's okay. And so did Punchline. That's okay. We got to see it twice. And the Black Cotton. There must have been something funny going on there. Speaking of funny. Hey, everybody. From comicbook.com. This made me so happy to see. There's an absurd amount of Halloween cereals available this season. How many are there? Go to comicbook.com or the Comics Newswire Early Edition, week 36, for more details. That was pretty cool. This I did not know, so I'm going to share it with you. Arrowverse alumni Chad L. Coleman, who plays Moklan Clyden in Seth MacFarlane's The Orville, will play a major Superman and Lois antagonist whose identity still remains unknown. But I didn't know he was Clayton. I don't know why I was having. I can't say the species is, but I love Orville. I couldn't believe that was the actor behind him, because that dude's so cool. And on the show, he's not so cool. Clyden's kind of a pain. So credit to him, because he's able to channel a very different type of persona. Can't wait to see what he brings us to Smallville. And they're going to have a new son, too, remember. We covered that a few weeks ago. Jonathan Kent's getting the upgrade. At least we think it's going to be an upgrade. We can hope. All right, here we go. From Joshua Burwell. Gives us Cumbo? I believe it's Cumbo. I hope it's Cumbo. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Kobo? Combo. I don't know why that took me so long. Welcome to dyslexia, right? Combo. It really threw me, the KO. I was like, combo? I read a lot of combo. That was combo has arrived. Awesome. Fans, get yours today. Click the link in the bio to visit. Welcome to the world of dyslexia. When you see certain words and you can't phonetically say it until it suddenly hits your mind, find us at awesomenesscomics.com. You try not to say things, right? You try to be good, and then you run into a word and you wind up sounding like an idiot. What can you do? That's why they call it live, right? In their spotlight today are our comic book resources. They have bizarrely awesome comics, and this time they took a look at Morpheus from Sandman, and was shocked that Ambush Bug having an actual sense of humor. I mean, he's Ambush Bug, right? So this is pretty exciting. Long time ago, Comic Book Advocates was called Written Sins. Written Sins, of course, gives life to Indie Advocates. Indie Advocates becomes Comic Book Advocates and Indie Advocates at the same time, as we have both URLs. But one of the biggest things we ever promoted is, are you one of us? And this depicts that. Are you a creator? Are you a comic book advocate? Are you a comic book fan? Are you a writer, a letterer, editor, inker, or a colorist? Or an artist? Are you one of us? If you are, subscribe to comicbookadvocates.com. Check out Indie Advocates on the on the TikTok, and support your local comic book stores by buying indie comics and telling them to be a fan. And you guys can buy mainstream comics. Let me just put that out there right now before we roll on with this. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of Marvel and DC. If anyone tells you otherwise, you tell them Uncle Rob told them you don't have to pick a side. Enjoy any comic that speaks to you and show your fandom, because you are one of us. If you're into comic books, doesn't matter what they are. Doesn't matter if they're called manga, they're still comics. Jax is excited in the background. One of the smartest men I know in the comic book industry is Gamal Hennessy. His comic book law is very specific area of IP. Few attorneys have experience in this field as much as Gamal does. Trust me, I've sat around and we've spoken on for just hours upon hours now. He's one of the most intelligent people I know in the comic book industry. I'm not kidding. I've met him in person. I actually go to his weekly classes and seminars. He's someone you want to have in your life if you're a comic book creator and need comic book law at any point. Even just keeping him in your orbit so you're ready when the big deals come. And always have him read your contracts. Believe it or not, I should have had him read a couple of the ones I signed. He says few attorneys have experience in this field. He says, I've represented comic book publishers and creators for more than 20 years. If you want a free consultation on your comic book work, please visit the creativecontractconsulting.com. Free contract attorney consultation. Take the consultation if you're about to sign a contract or make a contract. Trust me, he's one of the smartest men in this industry. What's this from Comic Book Resources? A major superhero murders an ancient X-Men villain, the X-Knights of X. Is it Merlin? Was Merlin a superhero? Well, you're going to have to tune in and go to Comic Book Resources on Twitter, or just go to our Comics Newswire early edition, week 36 of 22. Oops. Bad Kitty. Bad Kitty. Here's a preview. This is now on Kickstarter, as we learned before. Just a few days to go. Check it out by Tom Hutchinson and CB Zane. They're doing amazing stuff, and this is actually a project that you may just love. Oh man, did you see the beginning of the season 6 for Rick and Morty? Oh, definitely interesting times going on. What's it all mean? Well, we're going to have a full season to find out. But for now, it turns out Wendy's is sponsoring Rick and Morty. After all the Wendy tweets, I'm not surprised. This is brought to us by comicbook.com. Some more information on Nader Fox. Nader Fox gives us the man-child number 2, the Silver Age meets the Modern Age. And so basically, he's taking different time periods and combining them over on Kickstarter. And it's a tribute to the life and work of Stan Lee in comic book fandom. What a pitch line right there. Check it out now on Kickstarter. All right. Here it is, your first look at the forecast. And we don't got a lot to tell you. We're just going to tell you that there is a forecast coming because no one told us where they're going to be. So on our way out today, we're going to remind all creators, it's your responsibility to tell people where you're going to be. You could be advocated for by us on Instagram, on the TikTok, on the YouTube. But most of you don't post where you're going until after we've recorded the show. We record this early edition show at noon on Tuesday. And usually at some point, Monday. On Monday, we record this COMiX Newswire early edition on Mondays. And we actually do the forecast on Mondays. There's no reason someone shouldn't have told us where they're going to be months in advance, if not weeks in advance. Our actual forecast system has everything loaded till the end of the year, and we're actually going to be building next year in just a few weeks. So it's the fall season, the comic book season. New York Comic Con still coming. Of course, I have the show in Eustis, a couple art walks to go, and then that's the end of the year. Baltimore Comic Con still on the docket too. I'm not going this year, but that's going to be coming up, and that's a great show. So everyone kind of pay attention, perk up, and tell us where you're going to be, and we'll be happy to advocate for you creators. And look, I'm not doing what I used to do where I'm following creators around, asking where they're going to be, looking at their social media. If I don't get the information by the time we do the forecast, which happens on Mondays now, by 9 p.m., so you have until about noonish on Mondays to let me know. And you should be letting me know weeks in advance. You can tell me where you're going to be. I don't care. Tell me now about next year, and I will build it into the COMiX forecast. We can archive everything. So when it's time to go, it's time to go. So make sure you're telling us everything that's going on. Now, for you guys in the YouTube audience and Facebook, you won't be able to see it, but on Instagram, they're getting to see right now Jax's creation that he just created, and this is all by himself. He apparently built it. Yeah, that's the little boy. I'm going to show TikTok too. TikTok, check it out. Look at that. Yeah, you can have it back. That's so cool, Jax. Hey, high five. Great job. All right, guys. So we're done with the group, and as always, join us over on our Meta group. That's going to be the COMiX Newswire Newsroom, found on the Meta group section. Subscribe to Comic Book Advocates on TikTok. And if you have an event, crowdfunder, some comics news, all you have to do is send an email to comicsnewswire@yahoo.com or put it in our Facebook group, the Meta Book. And that's over at the COMiX Newswire. We're eager to help advocate for anyone who's willing to step up. And we thank Continuum Comics for helping make this possible. And with a partnership, and again, we have not fixed this. It must be in the early code. I keep fixing this every week. It's becoming almost a running joke for these shows. But thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to Comic Book Advocates, and we'll see you either on crowdfunding, on Comic Book Advocates, or on the Comic-Con highway this weekend. And make sure to join us for the COMiX Newswire on Wednesday, Backer Pause on Tuesday, and tomorrow, or later today, I should say, you'll have the COMiX forecast of the upcoming weekend. Thank you for joining us. All right, we're going to say goodbye.